The confidence of knowing yourself, the deep conviction that comes while you're on the path, even before purpose finds you. Knowing your soul, having your brain's owner's manual, is one of the ways to begin the journey of self-discovery. You're either on the path or you're backsliding. And eventually, if you continue on that journey, it's usually slow. Eventually, going to be grieving your lost potential. And that creates that loop to keep you where you're at instead of getting to where you want to be. Peace. Travel Soda Well. It's Pure Sound Daily Business. I'm talking about self-mastery and psychological type. And really the concept of knowing yourself. And I believe that's why we're here. Like each one of us. Each one of us is here to know ourselves. Know our higher self. Know the best of ourselves. Know our capabilities. To be of service. To help and uplift humanity. Leave our mark. That doesn't necessarily mean giving of yourself, being a martyr. You're talking about not making money. Oh, now we starting a nonprofit. No, you can absolutely just be yourself, focused on yourself, uplift yourself. And that can help other people. The inspiration. I think of athletes are coming to mind. Artists. All artists. Painting, drawing, singing, dancing, acting. And that people that do what they do at a very high level inherently give to our fellow sisters and brothers. So it's do you. Be yourself. Know yourself. Become a master. It's like they are working a job, and it's like if you've ever seen a master truck driver back up a semi. I mean, it's a sight to behold. Squeeze into a tight spot, parallel park with a semi. It's like, whoa, that is a skilled individual there. And what I've seen in my time on the planet is usually people lean more towards one way or the other. Either they're martyrs, giving of themselves, and that turns into nasty work, or they're self-centered and more on the selfish side, and that turns into nasty work. Well, as usual, especially when we're talking about touching on bringing in psychological type, and I'm going to work on Pure Sound L with our language. We're really going to focus in on the extroverted and introverted piece. I think that's the simplest and broadest, get your most bang for your buck in understanding that as a community. And then again, if we say introverted piece of focused in on your own thoughts, your subjective principles, that may have you, excuse me, that may have you either lending a hand to someone at a deep conviction, or just saying, hey, I'm going to do me. I'm going to take care of myself. You take care of yourself. And there's a place for that. A lot of people, again, when we get into martyrdom and enabling, that's the word I was looking for. I mean, I think, man, I don't think enabling gets enough of a conversation. Goodness gracious. Like, how many people are being held back by being enabled to stay where they are? And really, that's what we're talking about when, one of pardon me, young people, I'm not saying this, but one of the tropes, one of the cliches, one of the finger pointing of youth is, not working, they're staying at home with their parents. That kind of enabling. Ain't nothing wrong with staying home with your parents at whatever age, just as long as you're growing as a person. There's a plan, there's a strategy, there's a focus, there's intention. And it can be, whether it's the classic, you gotta have a job or go to school, or just whatever the plan is. To slide right into that, I know one of the concepts I heard, can't think of it, Glendon Cameron, I believe he was one of the first real business coaches I started listening to online. And, he's had some controversy. And haven't really been listening to him lately because when I was listening to him, after I had listened to him for a while, and I had bought his program also, specifically about the holding company game. And I don't know anyone that talks about that as much as him and lays it out in a fairly straightforward manner. I don't talk about it that much simply because we haven't been utilizing it. We have the structure and the setup, but as far as the actual financing and moving the finances around, we haven't done that. So until we're experiencing that, we're not going to talk about that. And overall, we don't talk a lot about the actual ins and outs of financing at Pure Soundell overall. Mainly mindset and the bigger picture, focusing in on yourself. Yeah, we all have to deal with these pieces of the operations part and financing, how the money gets moved around. So there are experts in that area. And if you're an expert in that area, hey, let's partner up. I'm doing the mindset side of the game. I'm not looking to do the financial part. I'm not an expert in that. Don't plan on being a deep expert, definitely with the years I have on this planet. But that's how we do. Boom. That's what you do. You're a tax person, accounting, bookkeeping, structure of a business, behind the scenes stuff, moving money around, taxes. This is where we partner with people. Oh, boom. I don't do that. I know who does, though. Someone in my community. This is how we're setting up coaching business. And that would be, get back to psychological type. That's like the business's internal piece. Who do we have internally that can help people? So we don't have to send people out on their own. Yeah, what I've seen is the tropes of enabling, martyrdom, and then the trope of selfishness, not caring about anyone. I'm getting mine. The classic, why do we even use money? To, hey, I'm getting mine. Right? So these are two different mindsets. I'm not saying they are. As far as defining psychological type, I'm talking very loosely and very general in just making a relation between, there's two sides. We usually see that hustler type, that CEO type, being that extroverted energy, going out and get it, calling shots, having a plan, getting other people on board. And then we have that introverted energy of having a vision, having a plan, and having a specialty, specializing. And that last piece was really what was coming to mind as I'm talking about, artists, very specialized. Only they can do what they can do in their way. Right? Within a business, within a framework, within society, there are people that especially when you're on the team, they have very specialized skill. It could be very technical skill, very relational skill. I believe one piece is people that know and keep the morale and keep the connection and the relationships in a business. I think you all are under-leveraged, underutilized, and that you bring something to a team that I believe is quantifiable. However, it's usually unspoken, and it's usually taken for granted. And this is really where we get into that martyrdom piece. A lot of these people also, the cliche, they don't care that much about money because they're more focused on that connection. So this is where understanding how your mind works, a psychological type, is such a valuable tool. And knowing yourself, knowing where you fit within a team, where you fit within your life, your family. That's why I jump on here, talking to a microphone. I know I have a special way of how I see the world. And it's not only when I was young and confused and overvaluing my own experience, meaning just, why do people think that way? But it was because I was judging people how I thought, not realizing you, listen to this, think a completely different way. And then you throw in your unique experience that we all have. So even if we did think in a very similar way, our experience, we would have different experiences, still see things differently. But then there's a respect. Then there's an understanding. Oh, okay. You look at things this way. I'll land a plane with this. Had a meeting last night with my team, and we're working out setting a date for a webinar. So this is the value of personality type from a leader's perspective. And I wanted to walk out everything that needed to be done, and then we could get an idea of how long things take. So if I want to put on a webinar, we need to have an opt-in. We need to have a lead generating campaign. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. I'm like, okay, let's walk this out so then we know how long it's going to take. And my team was having trouble with that. And I just realized I believe it's a personality type thing, that I want to set the date and fill in the blanks. And they want to fill in the blanks so they can set the date. So there's a lot of times that we just come at the concept, if you will, or the task or the action absolutely opposite. And it was fairly clear last night, just as I said. It was, I wanted to set the date so I could fill in the blanks, and they wanted to fill in the blanks so they could set the date. And it's a preference, but these can be anxiety points for people. These can be triggering. They can be frustrating. And then when we talk about overvaluing our own experiences, no, this is the way it should be done. No, this is the way it should be done. And to know we all look at things differently. We all have a different skill set. So where I'm at now is I don't look at things wrong or right. I'm just saying, they look at it different. And we all have different positions here. So how is the best way to move forward? Right now, always developing as a leader. So it's like, okay, I got to know myself. And I got to move as I see it move, and then I can make adjustments down the line once I get more skilled, right? Once I fully understand my own process of creation, of getting a task done, etc., then I can say, okay, let's look at how other people do this also. So how are you understanding your process deeper? all the way down to how you take in information and make decisions on that information, which is psychological type, which is having your brain's ownership manual. It's Travis Soda Well. It's Pure Sound Daily Business. Peace.